All right, guys, we are on site today right here at the Caribbean Resort in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. I've got with me Chris and his wonderful wife, Sam. They're going to walk us through a remodel here in Unit 920. Now, Unit 920, you might remember, it's Mr. Michael Tammaro's unit. He came on, purchased a unit, filmed a show with us. He was a lot of fun, quite a character. And now we're standing inside of his finished unit. Now, Chris, talk us through, Sam, talk us through what you guys actually did in this unit.
So the first part of the process is we come in and we do an interview with the client. My wonderful wife asks all the questions and we try to figure out what direction they want to go, what colors they're going to do, and their overall vision for the project. Sam?
Yeah, whenever we go through with the client, I like to make sure that I kind of get an idea of how they want to use the property. If it's going to be more so vacation or if it's going to be personal use for them. At that point, as we walk through, I'll start making notes of everything. So I kind of give him an idea of where he needs to go. And I take aesthetic and I just run with that. And he works with everybody as far as construction. And then we play off each other and actually put it all together.
Now, all right, guys, let's get into Unit 920. Now, as you can see here, it is wonderfully decorated. Absolutely stunning. Beautiful flooring, flat screen TV, nice pretty blues. Everything's modern. I will say that I really enjoy that they built this closet this way. They've got tons of beach stuff for guests. That's a huge and valuable perk for guests because they're not going to be bringing a lot of that stuff. You got a cleaning closet here. You've got a place to store the pool bracelets and stuff like that. Linens, of course, that's the owner's closet, and there is a nice coat on it. Super cool and easy for your cleaning lady. Now, as you come in here, you'll see the kitchen, beautiful cabinets, nice granite countertop, nice appliances. You have your vanity here with a nice modern light. Beautiful flooring in the bathroom. Tub shower combo here. Again, you'll notice modern. This is modern, guys. This is a much more modern touch, that door and that frame. And they've done that throughout this unit, as you can see here. See that door? See the framing there? Now, really cool little touch here for the electrical box, breaker box. Now, you're in the living room. They do have a Murphy bed here to the left, as you can see. Fan, lights, and absolutely stunning. Flat screen TV, plenty of furniture, and the moneymaker, as you can see, they have a nice tiled floor on the balcony and a beautiful oceanfront view. When you step out, you are seeing sand and ocean right in front of you. As you can see here, absolutely stunning. That's what your guests are paying for, the sand and ocean, direct oceanfront. That's what they want. Guys, that pretty much wraps it up. Beautiful, beautiful unit. Let's get in Unit 920 right here at the Caribbean Resort. Now, guys, this is post-remodel. As you can see here, it's not officially clean just yet, but you can still get a great idea of everything that was done. Look at that huge TV. See the crown molding up top? Absolutely stunning. Now, what you're going to see that Chris was talking about here is he actually cut that molding so that the bed could slide up against the wall, and it would and the beds wouldn't protrude in the walkway so much to give you a lot more functional space. Now, you can also see this right here, which Sam was talking about. This is the owner's closet, which is great. This is a gorgeous kitchen. Look at it. Look at that backsplash, guys. Absolutely stunning work here, as you can see. Now, that is what I am talking about. Super. Check these little buttons out. Light it up. See, guys? Super cool. Super cool. Anyways, we're having fun. There is your tub shower, restroom. As you can see, they really did a good job. Light fixture in there is nice too. Now, guys, check this out. Look at that accent wall. Come on. Beautiful fireplace, big flat screen, centered right on the bed, which is phenomenal. And this is where the Murphy bed used to be. Now, this has got to be pulled off, guys. You can see here that they've not officially cleaned all this up just yet, but you can see, look at that. Absolutely stunning. This is as you'll soon find out, or you've already seen, this is how they traced in and held tight everything on that back paneling so that it doesn't come loose. Very functional, invisible shelves, as you can see. Beautiful, nice quartz desktop. Absolutely stunning, guys. And that pretty much wraps it up. This is Michael Tammaro's unit. It was a 1-bedroom. Oh, don't miss the fan. These fans are super cool. It was a 1-bedroom unit. Now it's a 2-bedroom unit. There's another fan in here, as you can see. And here's our contractor right outside.
Hello.
Now, I got to ask you a quick question. Let's talk about aesthetic. Dive into that just a little bit more. How do you recommend colors?
Yeah. So I ask a series of questions. I like to see, like I said, how they want to actually use the property, how they want to see it being used, and the type of money they want to make off of it. So if we're actually going to be renting it out, then we have to appeal to the masses. It's not just going to be personal use.
There you go.
So when they tell me exactly what they want to do, then we kind of take keywords. Like she mentioned Miami, she mentioned the Golden Girls. So we took that, we took the salmon, we took the teal, and we ran with it 100%.
Nice.
So-
Nice. So basically you're able to tie in a certain understanding and a logic about what the masses want when they're on vacation, kind of that Miami tropical theme, and you brought it into this unit and brought it to life.
Exactly.
Sweet,
Exactly.
sweet. Okay, so walk me through some of the special features in this particular unit. I noticed that you guys took out the Murphy bed and put in a really cool
Yep.
desk area. I mean, there's like some cool stuff. So kind of walk me through it a little bit.
So the first thing we did in here, obviously we painted it. The walls were kind of not of a good color. It's a textured wall, so it took a lot of coats, but as you can see, it turned out great. After that, we realized that around the ceiling, it had some imperfections, so we added some crown all the way around. So this was not here initially.
Okay.
It does kind of give it a little more of an elevated look whenever you add in those little details as far as crown, baseboard, anything like that that can kind of elevate what you're actually looking at.
No doubt.
And it gives certain details like you actually care about the place too.
Absolutely. So it's actually saying a lot to the guests that rent it.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Ah, wow.
We
That's pretty
changed out our ceiling fan here as well. We realized that the walk-in pattern was very small, so what we decided to do in order to accommodate 2 queen beds is we actually notched them back in to the baseboard themselves to get some extra room.
very, very smart.
Absolutely. We added a door here and an owner's closet and separated this to make this more functional.
Yeah, this was completely open right through here. When you walked in, it was a little bit of an eyesore. So you see all the open shelving, everything they tried to store, it didn't really give you a sense of it was finished. Everything kind of had this ending point that didn't make much sense. And that's just because it's older. It's because, there's been a lot of back and forth with the resort, over the years. So you take something as simple as customizing a little door and all of a sudden everything is closed off and it's clean.
And it looks really nice and sleek and adds to that whole modern feel.
Exactly.
Now talk me through, and we'll go to the back in just a minute and see it, but talk me through getting rid of that Murphy bed.
So the Murphy's bed was fun. Once we actually started taking out, it was spring loaded and it shot a hole through the bathroom wall. So we ended up having to repair the wall before we could get to that. And we'll show you what we did with it. I think it turned out great.
Yeah,
Yep.
It really did.
Now, I also noticed that you guys had a really, really cool mirror. You got to talk to me about the mirror in the bathroom setup. What is that mirror exactly?
LED. So
And I know it's got buttons on it.
It does.
So
A lot of people have switched to that instead of regular mirrors that you just mount and then you have overhead lighting.
Yeah.
My thing, and it comes with a woman, I guess, it's
Okay.
the makeup thing. You
No
have
doubt.
lighting casting shadows from the top. So what you do is you remove that completely. Don't got to worry about
very
it.
smart.
You have special little buttons on your mirror, and then all of a sudden you're completely eliminated.
Which, guys, you're going to see that in just a minute as we walk through this unit. But it's super, super cool, and it makes the bathroom so much brighter. And that's one of the
Yeah.
places where I feel like there's never enough light.
There never is, and especially in the dry zone. is I like to call it, and it's just where the vanity is, where you kind of get ready. It's outside of the wet zone of the shower and the toilet area. So you need extra light in there because you don't have that exhaust fan light over the shower. You end up having to kind of supplement with vanity lighting, and at that point, you're fighting with your light.
Yep. Okay, guys, now we're also going to check out a really, really cool accent wall that Chris and Sam put in with a massive TV on it and a huge fireplace. It's actually one of the larger accent walls I've seen, with probably the largest fireplace I've seen, but it looks really, really sharp and really, really good. Let's get in there and check it out. All right, so let's work through a cash scenario right here when purchasing a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom at the Caribbean Resort. Guys, that purchase price for unit 920 was $227,000. Now, I pulled the gross rental income from unit 1231. In 2023, a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom, unit 1231 did make an astounding $72,000 in gross rental income. Guys, a solid 1-bedroom pulls in 40 grand. A good 1-bedroom, a great 1-bedroom pulls in 53 grand. An exceptional 1-bedroom pulls in $72,000. So I've used that $72,000 figure just to show you the potential or the upside of what a 1-bedroom unit has done here at the Caribbean Resort. Now, guys, your Airbnb platform fee at 3% was $2,160. If you subtract the $2,160 from the $72,000 in gross rental income, you do have a subtotal of $69,840. Now, your taxes for unit 920 were $3,770.16. Your cleaning services were $3,600. That is $120 per cleaning at 30 cleanings. Your excise tax was $565. Guys, excise tax, it's $145 base fee for your first $2,000 in gross rental income. Every $1,000 you make after that, you do have to pay $6. That is going to go to the city of Myrtle Beach for your short-term vacation rental business license, for a business license to operate that short-term vacation rental property right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now, your local hospitality and accommodations tax, $2,160. Guys, it's 3%. It's 3% total. 1.5% goes to the city of Myrtle Beach, 1.5% to Horry County, and that's it for that. Now, your annualized HOA dues were only $8,496, which in my opinion, for all the amenities you have here at the Caribbean, is relatively cheap. Now, I will tell you that the last time the property sold was 2022, so you really don't have to expect the taxes to increase too much on this property. And electricity, internet, and pest control are included in the HOA fee, as well as exterior building insurance. Now, for everyone that's concerned about hurricanes, your exterior building insurance basically is covered in your HOA fee. Your HO6 covers the interior of the condo, that stud to stud inside. So you're covered both for the internal and for the external on the building. So guys, hurricanes are, their routine history for oceanfront condo investors. It's part of doing business here. Same thing with special assessments. It's part of doing business here, guys. Now, yes, you don't want to buy a property that's got a bunch of special assessments, upcoming for all their major projects at that resort. You want to wait until the tail end of those projects are done. You need to get a solid and professional broker that will check into the meeting minutes for you of whichever resort that you choose to purchase in, to make sure that you're doing your due diligence and you're not buying something you're going to get hit with a ton of fees on. Give me a call, 843-360-1737. I'd like to be that broker for you. All right, now we are in the oceanfront facing room, the second bedroom, because Michael has had Chris and Sam convert this 1-bedroom into actually a 2-bedroom unit, which is a brilliant strategy. And again, Matt Freeze does say that when he does this, it adds an additional $10,000 gross rental income to that unit per year. So that's just a little side note, but we're here, and this is where the Murphy bed used to be. Now, guys, kind of walk us through how you made this so amazing.
So, like I said, when we took the Murphy's bed out, it had its own ideas and decided to shoot through the wall, but we fixed all that. We came up with this idea, and by we, I mean my wife, came up with this idea to turn this into a coffee bar area. So what we did was we added a countertop and a new cabinet for storage and an area that you can sit and do whatever you
Laptop work. I mean, like,
Laptop.
how many people nowadays like to wake up in the morning, get on their iPhone, get on their laptop, check their email, dive into their stuff? I mean, it's a very functional space, and it gives working professionals and many of the people that have remote jobs a very functional space to be able to work. And you could top it off with, you know, you could have like a nice little bar set up there.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's kind of where we went with it, because when we did talk to Tammaro, we realized that they do work remote.
Yeah.
So realizing that, also appealing to the masses, like we talked about, a lot of people do work remote now. And it does kind of give you an extra satisfactory, hey, I'm going to actually go down to the beach. I'm going to be able to work. But it's almost a triple purpose. You've got storage, you have a desk area, and you also have a coffee area too, depending on whatever you want to do with it. So making it aesthetically appealing was also where we went with that, because we did a sea salt by Sherwin-Williams on the paint color in here, also to play off of the blue outside. But pulling that into here, it livens it up a little bit by doing something like this. Now, in order to kind of save on cost, we did do a peel and stick backsplash. But
now I will say, you can't tell that it's fill and stick.
Exactly.
I mean, when I looked at it, I was like, and I even said it to Chris, I was like, Chris, this looks like tile.
Exactly.
And guys, that right there, back behind you, is actually pill and stick. So it's super budget friendly.
It really is. And one thing that was a little hard, and a lot of people don't realize, is in a lot of these high-rise condos, all the walls are textured. Everything is going to have a texture because it's easier to do. It's easier to keep up over the years as it goes, and especially with all the humidity and the water coming off. So being in here and needing to do extra tile work to make an accent wall, doing that in the kitchen obviously made sense with tile and grout. To save on some cost doing it in here, we actually had to reinforce it because of the humidity, because of the salt air and everything.
No doubt.
So doing it in here, we were able to trim it out on all the sides, so that way it gives it, first off, a nice finished look. Second of all, it does reinforce the fact that it's going to stay. It's not going to come down. And we were able to run it all the way down to the bottom of the baseboard, which gives it interest. You see it, it's an extra touch. It doesn't just stop at countertop, and it makes it pretty.
It's beautiful. Now, guys, I do want to draw your attention real quick to the barnyard door that's in this oceanfront condo, because I think that the wood look, along with the invisible shelves wood look, really gives a lot of contrast.
It does.
And it's what's going to help the photos pop on Airbnb. All right, so let's work through a financing scenario purchase right here at the Caribbean Resort for a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom oceanfront condo. Guys, purchase price was $227,000. Your 15% down payment on that $227,000 was $34,050. Yes, I have a lender, Jason King, who has a 15% down payment program on Myrtle Beach Oceanfront condos. Now, generally, I want you to know this, guys, that oceanfront condos in our market are considered, a lot of them are considered condotels. They are formerly hotels that were converted into condominiums. It is very, very difficult to find a lender that will do a 15% down payment on a purchase of a condotel. Generally, they're going to charge you 25% down. So if you want to keep some cash in your pocket for your next investment, give me a call. I'll put you in contact with Jason King. Now, moving right along, the gross rental income from Unit 1231 was $72,000. Guys, I found a Unit 1231, that made $72,000 in gross rental income in 2023. It's a 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit. I'm using this gross rental income figure to show you the potential of a 1-bedroom here at the Caribbean Resort. Unit 920 did not make that much money. Unit 920, anyways, the point is that a solid 1-bedroom, a good one's going to make 40 grand. A great one's going to make 53. An exceptional 1-bedroom is going to make $72,000. This one is stellar and crushed it. Now, your Airbnb platform fee, 3% at $2,160. If you subtract the $2,160 from the $72,000 in gross rental income, you are going to be left with $69,840 subtotal. Moving right along to your principal and interest, guys, $17,424. That assumes a 7.9% interest rate at 30 years. Again, you have to have a lender that does financing on condotels. You know, not all lenders do them, and conventional loans can only buy certain types of condotels. So, guys, you need to get in contact with me so I can work through all those details for you. Now, your taxes in 2023 on Unit 920 were $3,770.16. Your cleaning services are estimated at $3,600. That's at 30 cleanings, excuse me, at $120 a cleaning. Guys, it could be more, it could be less. It depends on your pricing strategy. If you allow for people to book 1 day, 2 days at a time, you could end up with a lot more cleanings. And when you're first starting out on the Airbnb platform, that's going to be very advantageous for you to do so that you can quickly collect reviews so that you look credible, and you will convert more people when you get a lot of solid reviews on the Airbnb platform. So maybe your first year or two, you're letting people rent for one day, 2 days, 3 days. But after 2 years, when you've collected a lot of reviews, you're letting people only rent for 1 week. So you have to, you're going to have to figure that out on your own. I can just give you, a kind of middle ground estimate, and that's what I've done here. I got you at 30 cleanings for $120 a cleaning. Now, and you might be able to find a cleaning lady that does it for $85 a cleaning. And you might be able to put some cash in your pocket by charging your guests that $120 or that $130 fee every time that unit's clean. Those are just a few tips. Anyways, moving right along, your excise tax was $565. Guys, that is calculated at $145 for your first $2,000 in gross rental income. That's your base fee. Then every $1,000 in gross rental income you make after that, it's $6. That is per having your business license and operating in the city of Myrtle Beach, operating that short-term vacation rental property. Yes, you have to pay that. Excise tax is for your participation for the police department, the fire department, et cetera, et cetera. Now, you have a local hospitality and accommodations tax. That's 3% of your gross rental income at $2,160. 1.5% of that goes to the city of Myrtle Beach. The other 1.5% is going to go to Horry County. Guys, this is what I want you to know. Not all platforms collect all the taxes. Airbnb, from what I understand, does collect all the taxes. There is a 10% South Carolina state tax that passes through the transaction that the guest pays. However, you need to investigate the individual platform that you're advertising on, Booking.com, VRBO, Airbnb, and make sure that you're collecting the appropriate taxes and that you're prepared to pay the appropriate taxes when it comes time for tax season. Now, annualized HOA dues, $8,496 for the year. Now, if you subtract the $36,015.16 from the $69,840, yes, you are left with a whopping profitability of $33,824.84 after financing. Guys, after financing, do you hear me? Wow. Don't tell me that oceanfront condos aren't profitable and can't be profitable. Unit 1231 is proof that they are very, very profitable. You just have to know what you're doing. Now, how did they make that much gross rental income? A stellar remodel, stellar design work, simple touches, and they did additional marketing on Instagram. I reached out to them and I talked to them. That's what they did, guys. It's that simple and that easy. Oceanfront condos are profitable. They make annual profits every year. In this case, to the tune of $33,824.84. Additionally, you get taxable income deductions through depreciation. Additionally, they appreciate and build you a nice nest egg. Additionally, you can use them for your vacation stay and save money on your vacation expenses. The benefits are numerous, guys. And in my opinion, you don't have all those ups and downs like you do with the stock market. Yes, we have ups and downs, but it's just not the same. It's a much more conservative investment, in my opinion. So let's just really quick step over here and kind of look at this. Check this door out, guys.
So this door was a logistic nightmare because it was too tall and there's no way to get anything. So we actually end up having to take all this casing out, recase it, and make it lower so it fits on the floor. We end up having to move the smoke detector up as well. But it adds so much space that it was worth it.
We don't actually have a swing on the door, so we're able to have more space in the corner for working zone, for eating, everything like that. So your traffic pattern does actually change coming through here without a 30-inch door swing on the back end of this thing.
Which it makes it functional, it makes it beautiful, and it all ties together to actually, in my opinion, equal more rentals on Airbnb and VRBO, which is what you want. That pop of that wood in along with these colors is what's going to cause this unit to rent more. And you might think it's like a silly thing, like, oh, they added some wood coloring into the photos. that goes a long way. The design aspect on the unit, in my opinion, is probably the most important thing outside of it being a direct oceanfront unit to ensure that you get rentals on Airbnb. And it's where you're gonna find your competitive advantage against all the other people that have tons of units right here at this same exact place. So that design component is something that you have to hone in on. You have to knock it out of the park, and you really gotta find something that's gonna make your unit stand out as unique and different than all the rest.
Now, one of the things we've learned over time is when people go on vacation, they don't want things that are in their actual house. So we try to go out of the box and give them something that makes them feel like they're on vacation.
Yeah,
So-
they end up telling me, what they want to see, everything they want to do in here, because it's not what they have at the house.
Yeah.
They are on vacation. You're at the beach. You want that fun aspect, but sometimes their vision is a little different than what they would normally go with. So it does take a lot of walk through, send me this, send me that, tell me exactly kind of what you want to see, and then we take that and run with it, because at the end of the day, the pictures are what's going to rent the place out.
At the end, that's it.
So,
Like, you want to get somebody to stop scrolling on Airbnb.
yes,
Absolutely.
And if you don't have those pops and those contrasts throughout this unit, it's not going to happen.
exactly.
They're
And
gonna
what I
be like-
like to do is give everybody something that they keep seeing, they keep noticing. So it's all in the small details. You
Yeah.
can do, large things all day long. But when you start adding the small details, like the shiplap, the wood grain, like the different pulls on the cabinets, it ends up drawing your eye to that and saying, okay, they actually care.
Yeah.
They actually put more into this
Exactly.
than what I've seen at,
Yeah.
beach house down the road.
It's not some standard guy who owns 10 units that it's just blah, blah, blah
Right.
throughout his units, or he took the most cost-effective way at Home Depot to get the deal done.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Oh, no.
There's that.
Sometimes it takes a lot of custom work to make it happen, but we work tirelessly to make that,
Yeah.
make sure it does.
That's for
on
sure.
this one, we ended up having to mount it on the door frame itself, so it works. And it is a soft close barn door, so
So
Yeah.
you're not
Very
gonna have anything
functional.
slamming.
Yeah, how many times do you find a soft closed barn
Exactly.
barn
You
door?
don't.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I noticed it immediately. I was like, that is a
Yeah.
soft close.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Now I want to move over to the accent wall and kind of talk through that. I want to know how long it took. All right, so let's talk through depreciating this 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom unit here at the Caribbean Resort. Guys, at a $227,000 purchase price and being able to depreciate short-term rentals over 39 years, that gives you a taxable income deduction annually of $5,820.51. Now, for all you high-income earners, you can do cost segregation studies. Get with a CPA that specializes in them and do them on your oceanfront condo. You could be writing off as much as $30,000 in a given year. All right, guys, now take us to school on this accent wall and this fireplace. How long did it take? Come on.
the overhaul, everything in this whole entire project took approximately 2 weeks. And the reason why it took 2 weeks, we were waiting.
When you say 2 weeks, do you mean 10 working days or 2 full weeks, including weekends?
We don't really have working days and non-working days. We like to get it done. So unless the HOA runs us out, which does happen from time to time, we are typically here. Sometimes day and night, because we know your timelines are more important than ours.
Yep.
This was a flat wall, and this is what we've turned it into.
So on the kick out on this was essentially all the way back to, flush mount on the wall.
Yep.
They wanted to add in a fireplace. They wanted to add in a larger TV. In
Yep.
order for us to be able to do that, we needed to be creative
Yep.
on it. But again, being a textured wall, we can't put wallpaper. We can't do certain
Yeah.
things. Pretty much all you can do is paint it, or you're going to drywall.
Hold on. We got to backtrack right there.
Uh-huh.
Being a textured wall, because I would imagine many of the oceanfront condos in our market
Most of
have
them.
texture walls.
Yes.
Most of them.
So say that again. You can't do what and what?
You cannot do wallpaper
That's good.
on a textured wall.
Man, there's so much that goes into this.
Exactly. There's a lot that goes into
Yeah.
it. So building this out, actually, when I came over here, we had to accommodate for the TV. That was the biggest thing. He told me what size the TV was going to be, what size the fireplace was whenever he talked to Michael, and we
Yeah.
kind of framed that off of it. Now, when it came to the design of this thing, we could only come out so far because of traffic pattern, because of the king size bed.
Yep.
On the other side, you'll see where the door frame was actually with the swing on it. It came out over here, and you've got an alarm system on this wall. So we measured off of this and the electrical outlet, measured over,
Yep.
and then we're able to center that up. So we actually knew where the bed was going to go
Got
and made sure that the
you.
TV was centered to the bed, because
Nice.
everything else can be customize kind of around it.
That's right.
Your biggest thing is making sure that when you're laying here
Yep.
and you're watching TV, you're not like this.
You're not like got a kink in your neck because you're looking sideways.
Exactly.
Very smart.
So the shiplap actually helps with the coastal vibe.
Yep.
It's clean. It's a little more updated and
Yep.
modern. The trim work is beautiful. The guys did a fantastic job on it. And, you've got a fireplace that you don't see in a lot of units.
No, I was going to say that. So this is the largest fireplace I've ever seen on an accent wall.
Yes.
And I'm assuming that y'all did that because you wanted to make it the same size as the TV. So it
Size
looked
as the TV.
visually.
Yes.
And we also we only used the amount of space that we had to accommodate the fireplace. So this was as small as we could possibly get it, so we didn't ruin the traffic pattern.
Very cool. All right, guys, so let's work through appreciation right here at the Caribbean Resort for these 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom units. Guys, if you'd have purchased the average 1-bedroom, 1-bathroom in 2014, you'd have paid $122,028 for it. Now you fast forward to 2024, that same unit's running $218,518. Guys, that's $96,490 in appreciation. That's $9,600 a year on average you are appreciating. On top of the annual profits, on top of the income deductions for your taxes. I mean, man, the benefits are numerous. Chris and Sam are my go-to contractors. They do all my oceanfront condos. And they are trustworthy. Chris, I have watched him he takes personal responsibility for the jobs that he does. He makes sure that the client's happy. He goes to extreme lengths, in my opinion. I would have been pretty upset about driving to Raleigh twice. I'm going to be honest with you.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, well, so we had a job where Chris had to drive to Raleigh, North Carolina, on two separate occasions just to pick up cabinets for a client. And he did that. And I've watched him take personal responsibility and make sure that the job is done well and that it's done right and that it's done in order. So I trust him doing your oceanfront condos. Him and Sam do excellent work. She'll give you mock-ups. Can you just kind of real quick talk through the design process, like the mock-ups that y'all give, kind of how that works?
Yeah. So normally whenever we do meet with the clients, we've got the construction aspect and we also have the design aspect of everything that we have to marry together. So when we work together, he lets me know what we can and what we cannot do.
Yeah.
So being in some of these high-rise condos, either HOA will tell you cannot do certain things, or it's not feasible because of when it was built, and I can't do certain things like move water lines in a high rise. So whenever it comes to doing all of that, then I'll talk to the client, see how many beds they want to do, see how many people they want to sleep. That's the biggest thing. You need to figure out how many people you're going to be able to actually get into a condo in a place. If you can sleep that many people, you need to be able to seat that many people.
Oh, that's good.
Exactly. So you may be able to sleep 8 people, but if you only have like
4
seats
chairs
at your table or in front of your TV, then we got a problem.
Yeah, it's going to be a very uncomfortable stay for the majority of the time that they're in the unit.
Exactly.
Because they're sleeping only at night.
Exactly. So when it comes to the layout and the design of it, I take measurements on absolutely everything, and I'll go into a 3D plan and I'll actually make the model of the condo. So I can play with the furniture. I can play with where we need to do lighting. I can work with him and see what we can actually do. A lot of the times we have to use conduit on all of the ceiling fans because we can't run new lines in concrete.
Exactly.
So it really depends on what we're working with and what's going to actually be functional and budget conscious at the end of the day.
Now, I will say, guys, and it is super important how many people you can sleep in a unit. That's one of the most important factors for gross rental income, for the income that these investors are wanting to get out of these units. So being able to understand how it functionally fits together, being able to serve the most people, and then with the design component of how it functionally works, it's actually going to create a great user end user experience. So if I can have the nicest condo in the world, but if I've only got 2 chairs and it sleeps 10 people, then they're not going to have a good stay. And they're not going to come back.
Exactly. So that's kind of where I talk to them, and going back to that, hey, how do you want to use this? Is this going to be for family usage and personal, or are you actually going to put this on Airbnb? You're going to rent this thing out.
That's right.
So you really have to work with them and figure out what they want to do, what they want to see, and then take all of those tiny little bullet points and put them into an overall concept for whatever unit you're working with.
So walk me through, you guys have been in business for how many years?
Since Hurricane Florence is when I actually started my business. I started doing insurance restoration and that's how I got into this business.
Okay. And Hurricane Florence was when? What year?
2018.
2018.
Wonderful, wonderful. So you've got years of experience doing this. Now,
before that, I worked in Home Depot. I ran 19 stores in Home Depot, and I ran a kitchen department, and I also ran another local. It's called Color Tile at the time.
Yep.
They did similar to what we do. So I actually ran that company.
So you've been in this line of work for years.
Yeah, ever since I got out of the military, this is what I've been doing.
Wonderful. U.S. veteran right here. Thank you for your service.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Guys, let's work through variance right here at the Caribbean Resort. Unit 1231 in 2023 made $72,000. Unit 1522 in 2022 made $42,068. Unit 1133 in 2022 made $40,998.41. And then finally, Unit 824 in 2023 made $33,283.38. That is an average gross rental income of $47,087. Now, the difference, the range there, the variance is as much as $38,717. Obviously, that attributes in large part to Unit 1231 pulling in an exceptional amount of gross rental income of $72,000. And they did that in a down market. 2023 has been and was a declining market. Guys, it goes to show you that when you know what you're doing, when you do a stellar remodel on the unit and you put the right design work and you market the unit well, you can make a ton of profit with oceanfront condos. Now, generally, the Caribbean does have very tight and close grouping. This resort, hands down, in my opinion, has a well-established name and brand, and people know year after year they can come here and get that good quality service that they're looking for. It's got great amenities. It's in an excellent location. The Caribbean is probably it is definitely one of my top 5 picks, if not one of my favorite ones. Now, Grand Dunes is, got that number 1 spot right now, but either way, the point is the close grouping shows you, when you have close grouping at a resort, it shows you that demand has started to equalize across those units, causing the gross rental incomes to even out. When you don't have close grouping, you have to be careful because it could be that a resort, might have some great units, but it's really not ran well, and there's not enough demand on all the units to cause those gross rental income or numbers to equalize, to pretty much be about or around the same. So when you have an oceanfront condo resort, again, with high variance, be on the lookout. You definitely want to dig into those meeting minutes and really check it out and make sure it's solid. But when you have a resort that has close grouping, those close gross rental income numbers, it's a good indicator that that resort is well established, the operations are well ran, and that the demand on all of those units across the board is pretty solid and pretty steady, causing those numbers to equal out. Now, okay, so kind of walk me through how many oceanfront condos, have you done a lot of oceanfront condos in particular?
We've done a little bit of everything.
Can you kind of walk through, kind of the spectrum of what you guys have done?
We literally do everything from renos to Airbnbs to actually build full houses.
Yep.
We do a little bit of everything. We do also commercial, actually built Anytime Fitness in Forest Brook. We do a little bit of everything. And just to touch base on what Brandon said about taking accountability, I tell all my contractors, my workers, that if you walk into that unit and you look around and you think to yourself that they had a bad contractor, then you did not do your job right, and you will stay here until you think otherwise.
Right.
Come on.
Yep.
That's a really good way to lead. Come
Absolutely.
on, right? Personal responsibility. And that's something that is hard to find in my experience in the contracting world. Having done these jobs and worked with contractors, man, it is not necessarily the easiest thing in the world to find a great contractor that will take personal responsibility for the job and ultimately the client experience.
Absolutely.
Which is in large part why I don't have a problem saying, hey, Chris is the guy that you need to use. And
I appreciate that.
More recently, and you're currently doing a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom in North Myrtle Beach for us.
I am.
And to be honest with you, that client wasn't really serious about moving forward on the deal without your input. You became a very real part of that deal, honestly.
Absolutely.
And so it's easy to see that clients very quickly trust you.
Yeah, I try not to look at it as we're working for them or they're working for us. I look at it, we're out here just all trying to make a living. And if we do our job right, everybody makes money.
Yeah, there we go. Guys, you heard it. Plain and simple right there from the mouth of Chris Crowley. He's the contractor that you want doing your oceanfront condo remodel. All right, Sam and Chris, take it away. We're in the kitchen. We're having fun. What are we cooking?
So one of the things we've learned by doing this is you want to really maximize your budget. You don't want to replace anything that doesn't have to be replaced. So we try to put your budget toward the things that matters, that's really going to pop. Like in this case, we just changed out the countertop, the sink, and the fixture, the faucet as well.
Backsplash.
And
Yep.
oh yeah, we also had to remove that hideous backsplash, and we added this one.
Yeah, so the backsplash, what we really did when it came to the design of it, we wanted to keep everything in here bright white because you don't have a lot of ceiling space, so you don't have a lot of bouncing light anywhere. It's pretty much just like dim and dark if you've got the light off,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
So what we did with the color palette, we ended up going with that coral in here, and then we did the seesaw in the oceanfront room. So bringing that together, we were able to do the teal on the back in a herringbone, so that way you've got some interest in here. It's custom, and it looks like you actually put some thought into it.
Absolutely.
But it gives you a color pop when you come in because everything else is white.
Everything else is white,
Exactly.
literally.
Yeah.
And the white obviously makes it look a lot more fuller.
It does.
Makes it feel like
Absolutely.
there's a lot more room.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
And one of the things I've learned also is the more expensive things look, the better people are
Yes.
going to take care of it.
Oh, that's
So
good.
you
Yes.
got to try to put a nice quartz.
Now, that's a little contrary to popular thought, but I don't disagree with you.
Well, nobody wants to pay that $100 that they left at the front desk to hold it. They don't want to have to do that because they scratched a nice countertop.
Now, you'll hear people constantly say, well, excuse me, in this line of work, I feel like I've heard a lot of people say, well, it's a rental. You don't want to put quality stuff in it. Well, guess what? If you put quality stuff in it and somebody damages it, they're going to have to pay for it.
Not to mention, if you put quality stuff in it, you're going to get quality customers as well.
That's exactly right. You're going to be attracting those people most likely that are going to take care of that unit for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So that's a
And
very, very good point.
What I've kind of realized too is that if you do not as higher end things, you do more cost effective, for lack of a better term, then you have to replace that stuff a whole lot more frequently, especially in rental properties.
Come on.
If you
And what's
do
going to set you apart from the rest of the units in the whole entire unit as well.
Exactly.
So you do a Formica countertop with, some melamine cabinets, and
Wicker furniture.
it gets beat to death,
Wicker furniture.
Exactly.
But it does get beat to death.
It
yes.
gets beat to death over the course of, the rental season, and then you're having to come in like the next time you're trying to renovate it, make sure that it's good, and you're spending double the amount of money for not as good of stuff when you could just go ahead and put the money forth and make it nicer, and
I'm
then
with
you
you.
don't have to keep doing it.
It makes me think about the job that we did at Ocean Reef. She put that really nice flooring in,
Mhm.
and that flooring's going to last a lot much
Absolutely.
longer than
Exactly.
the cheapest stuff you can buy at Home Depot.
Absolutely. We usually recommend a 20 mil LVP. We have it's called Granite and Furniture Outlet. That's where I send all my customers. We get great deals because we purchase so much, and it is a top of the line floor without the top of the line price.
Yep. Now, guys, I know we can't all really squeeze into that bathroom. Do you want to
Uh-huh.
try it?
You try.
So we had to change out the vanity, and we put an LED mirror, and we put a new light fixture in here just to give it some pop. I don't know if you've seen the before of this vanity, but it was not something I would ever want to use. There was another door right here, so we actually just removed that and recased it out, made it flat like it was meant to belong there, instead of trying to squeeze into another door.
Thank you. So, real quick, I've got to ask you guys just a little bit of a juicy question. What is it like being husband and wife and working together? I mean, do you guys, tend to butt heads? Do you guys have really great boundaries? Do you have a good read on each other? What's that like on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, honestly, when I think back, I don't know how I did this company or this business without her. She fills in all the blanks where I didn't. And she's my best friend, and we work and live together, work out together, and she's my favorite person. So I don't mind hanging out with her
Yeah,
at
we
any
really-
point in time
We
of the day.
really don't have any issues because we bounce off of each other so well. Because, like I said
Cool.
before, sometimes structurally, I don't know what I'm getting into. I just know I have a creative thought process and I know what the client may want to see. So I have to bounce things off of him and say, hey, can we do this? Can we not do this?
Yeah.
And then he trusts me completely when it comes to the design of it.
Yep.
So he figures out a way to make it happen. And we don't really butt heads on anything because we do work so well together.
You trust each other's opinions,
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
And it sounds like you guys really know where your lanes are.
Absolutely. Well, it was a little bit of a learning curve when we first started, when Sam wanted to raise ceilings and things like that. And I just told her it wasn't structurally possible. But we've ironed that out. And honestly, I can't think of anybody else I'd rather do this with.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, honestly, I always love the whole Chip and Joanna Gaines. Like,
Yeah, for
type of
sure.
vibe.
I'm thinking
that's
about them
cool.
while y'all were talking.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, Chip and Joanna are like
Yeah,
that.
everybody tells us that.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, there's a lot that goes into it that, like, people don't realize. Like, it looks like butterflies and rainbows, which in our case, it actually kind of is.
That's pretty cool.
And we just
Super
love
cool.
doing the jobs together because at the end of the day, we come as a team and
Yeah.
a package. And when people see that we're actually working together, it makes them a lot more comfortable. Too.
Yeah. And probably a lot more trusting because they go, okay, these people are putting their whole lives in this.
Right.
You know, it's not just one person showing up for a job. This is a husband and wife, like literally putting their life into this
Something
work.
we enjoy. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm sure we could do just about anything we'd want to do. We
Yeah.
do this because we enjoy it.
Yeah,
it's,
absolutely
It's
love
very rewarding to see the customer's face, after everything's done.
Yeah, super cool, super cool. Well, guys, again, you've heard it right there from Chris and Sam in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. If you're interested in getting in contact with the best contractor in Myrtle Beach, you got it right here. Give me a call. It's 843-360-1737. Guys, you gotta trust me. You made it to the end of the video, but you need to click the video that's on your screen right now to hear how Matt Freeze makes $15,000 to $30,000 a year in annual profit off each of his 8 Myrtle Beach oceanfront condos. That's over $180,000 in average annual profits right there in passive income each and every year. Click the screen now.